Guys, in this next movie, I'm going to show you some of the ins and outs of working in a more professional manner with your paragraph styles. As you can see, I've already set some text, and I wanted to emphasize that I have put a hard return, a true return, after each one of these styles. And I want to show you that to find an important setting, which will help you see what's going on when you are working on your type design, this setting is actually called I just landed on a dead brain cell. Okay. It is okay. And so to find this setting, it should be able to be shown here. It is show hidden characters. And what that did was, again, under type, and this is hide hidden characters, and again, it is show hidden characters. The truth of the matter is that is under type and not under view where you would think it would be. So I wanted to mention that and make it very clear. And now what you're going to notice is I can see a hard return or a paragraph marker after every place that there is a paragraph return, not a soft return. And in case you were wondering what the difference is, a soft return is pressing the shift key and then return, and that pushes something onto a new line. Again, it's a shift return, whereas a true return is, in this case, here I'll put a period and then a letter T. A true return is when you click before where you want to make a true return and you press the enter or return key, and then the paragraph marker will show up. Now you may be wondering why this is important, and the truth is it is very important, and what it has to do with is being able to control the space before and the space after these paragraphs. As it turns out, line letting or line spacing is not enough to create the kind of professional looking spacing that you want your documents to have. And one of the things that some people will run into is they see that text in paragraphs of different styles is coming too close to each other and that it looks bad, so they put in an extra paragraph return. And then they run into the fact that that looks too gappy or weird or something else. So I'm going to take those two out and show you how to handle that. Now, in some cases, there will be a reason to make duplicates of the same paragraph style, but just forget I said that for a minute, and we'll come back to that concept later. What I want to talk about is this concept of what is called space after and space before a paragraph. One of the things also in this particular font which serves us is that the top of this text is going way outside of the page margins, which could be dangerous. And the bottom of this text is crashing directly into the subheader. So I need to adjust what is known as the space before and space after. Now, if you hadn't thought of this when you were making your paragraph styles, it's not too late. You can still do it now. And so I'm going to click away to make sure nothing is selected because I want to change the first style, which is the cover headline. That's the name of this style. And I'm going to double click on it to open its paragraph style options. And then I'm going to go to one of the options called indents and spacing. And here I've clicked on it, indents and spacing. That's the option. The control I want to look at, let's move this to the other side so you can see it a little more easily, is this space after and then its friend space before and space after. So first I want to give it some space before so it's not smashing right into the top of the margin. So that space before, and I'm going to start increasing the space before it doesn't look like anything is moving because there's actually no paragraph marker before that one. So that's something to consider. I will show you how to fix that in a minute, but I can definitely change the space after setting. Sorry, I keep moving this around so much. But the space after setting here, you can see this type moving down a little bit. Space after, boom, and again, I'll slide this over. So what I've been adding now is what is known as space after. So there's a built-in space after the paragraph when the paragraph is set in cover headline now. And let's say I like the way that looks, and it's 0.375 inches. And now I love it, and I click OK. I also think that the text for the cover subhead is crashing too closely or coming too closely to the body text style. So again, I'll click away, and then I'll double click to open up the cover subhead, and then again I will use space after, and that is under indents and spacing, and then I'll go to space after, and yada yada. Ooh, ah, that looks good, better. And now I'll click OK, and then I say, you know what, I like my type in general for my body copy, but I still feel like the paragraph returns don't feel like they're new paragraphs. And so in this one, I'll do a little bit more. I'll go to the cover body text, and then I will go to, again, indents and spacing. And on this one, if I set space before, it's going to create more gap above, which I don't want. I have to say that I do use space before on occasion, but mostly I seem to use space after mostly. And so there, now I'm opening up the space after, and that looks much more like I want it to look. In addition, you don't have to use this, obviously, you might like to add a left indent. So, oh, that's not it. I want first line indent. And now I'm doing that visually, so that looks about right. And so if I click OK now, and I increase the height of my box, and I go to my text, and I hit a return, and then I change the style to cover headline. Oh my God, what happened there? There was not a hard return after, now there is. So it turned that whole paragraph into the wrong style because it was part of that paragraph. Mm-hmm. Now it has a hard paragraph return, and I'm going to go cover headline, and I'm going to go this. So in this case, I've got issues remaining here between these two, which was set up when I did the space before. So I'm being very thorough here, going back over to cover headline, and I'm making this little tutorial here, and I'll set this back to 0, which might not look right. Oh, it's too close, right? And then I'll go back again for this one, again, indents and spacing, and space before, clickety click, click, click. That's 1/4 of an inch. Doesn't look like 1/4 of an inch because of the magnification level. And now I'm going to click OK. So everything else should be okay. If I click, hit a hard return, change my style to cover subhead, and write something lovely like, I receive the best, and hit a hard return again. You might want to switch to the selection tool and begin here. Back with my text tool, lots of tool switching in this lovely program. Make sure I'm using body text now. This is the correct way to work with text in InDesign! Exclamation point. So this guy up here, I really did not resolve. Sadly, I want that to stay inside, and this is so simple, but I do have to move that box down. That's the easiest and best way. Just don't have that text box marching right up against the top of the page, and I'll just make this stuff look a little bit happier here. And so as I continue to put any text into this page, everything has a much more realistic and handsome, controlled spacing for my text. And that's that for that right now.